I used to think the human face was the one thing in life you could trust. No matter how broken you feel, how lost you are, your reflection always belongs to you. It's the one proof you exist, the one proof you're real. But I learned the truth the night something climbed out of my mirror, wearing my face like a stolen mask. It started at 2:49 a.m., the kind of hour where the world feels thinner and even silence sounds wrong. I had been awake for hours, tossing around in bed, my chest tight with a feeling I couldn't name. Something was off, something in the house felt awake, watching, breathing. I kept telling myself it was just my anxiety again, just another sleepless night, but then I heard it, a soft tapping coming from my bathroom. The door was half open, and the darkness behind it looked too deep, too heavy. I sat up slowly, every nerve in my body tightening. The tapping continued. Tap, 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 slow, steady, patient, not like a pipe, not like a house sound, like knuckles, someone knocking from inside the bathroom, from inside the mirror. I told myself not to go. Every part of my brain started screaming, begging, warning, but my legs moved anyway. Like something was pulling me forward. I pushed the bathroom door open completely, and the tapping stopped. The room was freezing cold, colder than the rest of the house, and the air felt wrong, like it didn't belong here. I turned on the light, nothing, just my small bathroom, silent and ordinary, except the mirror. There was a handprint on the glass, not fog, not dust, a perfect, full handprint, pressed from the other side. I reached out and touched the mirror, and this time it tapped back, once slow, gentle. The glass vibrated under my fingers like something was actually behind it. I stumbled backward, nearly falling into the sink. My breath caught in my throat as the mirror surface rippled, just slightly, like water stirred by a breeze. Then I heard it, my voice, but dead, empty, hollow. Let me out. I felt my blood turn to ice. I froze. I couldn't move. I couldn't even blink, because the reflection staring at me wasn't me. It looked like me, same hair, same eyes, same face, same everything, but the expression was wrong. My reflection was smiling, this slow, stretched, unnatural smile that didn't belong on my face. It raised a hand and waved at me through the glass. My real hand didn't move. My reflection was not copying me anymore. My reflection was acting on its own. I whispered, barely breathing, "What are you?" It tilted its head the way I never do, like it was testing the limits of my expression. And then it answered, perfectly copying my voice, but deeper, older, like something wearing a human throat for the first time. "I'm you." A crack split across the mirror surface. Just one. A thin little fracture. But it moved fast, spreading like lightning across the glass. I backed away, my heart hammering, but my reflection leaned closer, placing both hands against the inside of the mirror like it was pushing. "I want my life back," it whispered, "but first, I want you out of it." The lights flickered violently, the mirror groaned, the crack widened. I turned and ran. I don't even remember making the choice. My body just reacted, pure survival instinct kicking in. I sprinted back into my bedroom and slammed the door shut, pressing my back against it. My whole body was shaking. I couldn't breathe right. I couldn't think. I couldn't understand what I had just seen. Then the bathroom door creaked open on its own, slow, too slow, like someone was stepping out, someone wearing my footsteps, someone wearing my face. I grabbed my phone with trembling hands and dialed my best friend, Ethan. It rang once before he picked up. "Bro, are you okay? Why are you calling at?" But before I could speak, before I could explain anything, before I could tell him what climbed out of my mirror, I heard my voice in the hallway. The thing wearing my face, saying my name, dragging the syllables like it was trying them on, and Ethan heard it too. He went silent. "Dude, is someone there with you?" I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to answer. All I knew was that the footsteps were getting closer, and then the doorknob began to turn, slowly, quietly, like it already owned this house. I whispered into the phone, my voice shaking, barely audible. "Ethan, that's not me." The doorknob clicked, and the door began to open, not fast, not slow, but with that quiet confidence of someone who already knows what's waiting on the other side. I backed away, my chest collapsing with panic as my phone nearly slipped from my hands. Ethan was still on the line, whispering my name, asking what was happening, but I couldn't speak. My throat felt locked, frozen. The door opened just a crack, maybe 2 inches, but it was enough to see the shadow behind it. A perfect outline of me, same height, same posture, same everything, except the shadow felt wrong, stretched, as if something taller was trying to fold itself into my shape. "Come on." The thing wearing my voice whispered from the hall. But now I heard the difference clearly. The tone was too smooth, too steady, too practiced. Like an actor rehearsing lines he didn't understand. Ethan whispered sharply through the phone, "Dude, don't open the door, don't let it in." I wanted to answer. I tried, but no sound came out. Then the thing outside did something that froze my blood completely. It knocked, 3 soft taps, just like the mirror, tap, 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 like it wasn't trying to get in. Like it wanted permission. My hand trembled, the phone shaking against my ear. Ethan kept whispering, voice trembling now, "Bro, I heard that. There's someone with you. Tell me what's happening. Tell me who that is." But I couldn't say it. I couldn't speak the truth out loud, because saying it would make it real. The knock came again, louder, tap, tap, tap. Then my own voice spoke through the crack in the door, too bright, too cheerful, like I was forcing a smile through sound. "Open the door, I want to talk." I took 1 step back, and the thing on the other side took 1 step forward. The shadow moved closer to the crack. I saw a pale eye peek through my eye, but wrong, too white, too reflective, like a camera lens pretending to be human. Ethan's voice crackled with fear. "He sounds like you, but he doesn't sound like you. Bro, don't open it. Call the police. Call someone. Call someone. Call someone," as if anyone could help me with this. As if anyone could fight something wearing my face. The doorknob twisted again, harder this time, rattling violently. The door shook in its frame. The creature was no longer waiting for permission. It was pushing its way in. "Let me in." The voice deepened, fractured, as if 2 people were speaking at once, the mimicry breaking down. I grabbed the nearest thing, a heavy lamp, and raised it, pointing it at the door like a weapon. My hands were shaking so badly the cord dragged behind me and scraped across the floor. The creature laughed, not a real laugh, a copy of one, practiced, repeated. "Wrong," it whispered, "you don't need that. I won't hurt you." Ethan hissed through the phone, "He sounds like he's lying." He was. Because the door stopped shaking and the voice outside changed again, calmer, softer, controlled. "Let me show you something." It said, "Let me show you what you look like on the inside." Something slammed into the door with enough force to shake the whole frame. I screamed and stumbled back as the wood cracked down the middle. The phone fell from my hand, clattering onto the floor. I heard Ethan shouting my name through the speaker, but I couldn't reach for it. My eyes were fixed on the splitting door. 1 more hit and it would break. I turned toward the window, 2nd floor, but I didn't care. Another slam, the crack widened. A pale hand slipped through my hand, but the fingers were too long, bending wrong at the joints, like they didn't know the right shape yet. I didn't think, I just jumped. I threw the window open and climbed out onto the ledge as the door exploded behind me, splinters flying across the room. I heard it crawl into the room. Yes, crawl, its joints snapping, its breath scraping like something learning how lungs work. I let myself fall. The air rushed past me. The ground slammed into my side, knocking the breath out of my chest, but I was alive. Barely. I staggered up, limping toward the street, my vision spinning. A streetlight flickered overhead, buzzing like it was warning me. Then I saw it. My bedroom window. The thing wearing my face leaned out of it, watching me, smiling my smile, but its eyes. They were changing, darkening, hollowing, like it was finally waking up inside my skin. It whispered, voice drifting down from the window even though I couldn't hear its lips move. "You can run." The streetlight flickered again, stuttering like it was afraid. "But you can't leave." And then, impossibly, it stepped out of the window, not fell, not climbed, stepped, straight down the side of the house like gravity didn't matter, every limb bending wrong, every joint rotating too far, like it was trying to figure out how to walk in my shape. I turned and ran into the street, screaming for help. But the neighborhood was silent. Every house dark, every window watching, every shadow waiting, and behind me its footsteps followed, too familiar, too close, too mine, and behind me its footsteps followed, too steady, too slow, like it wasn't chasing me. Like it knew something I didn't, like it knew I would never outrun it. The sound of those footsteps hit the pavement with a rhythm identical to mine, each step perfectly timed, perfectly measured, perfectly matched to the pace my legs had learned over a lifetime of walking. It wasn't copying me, it remembered me. The street stretched ahead, long and empty. Every house was dark, dead, silent, not a single window lit, not a single dog barked, not a single flicker of life anywhere. It felt like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath, like every home sensed something unnatural walking the streets and chose to pretend it didn't exist. I ran harder, legs burning, chest tight, ribs aching from the fall. My breaths came out sharp and painful, but the footsteps behind me never changed. They didn't quicken, they didn't slow, they just followed, echoing through the night like the sound was attached to my bones. "Stop running," it said behind me. Its voice was calm, too calm, my voice, but corrected, smoothed, perfected, like it was speaking the way I should speak, not the way I actually did. I didn't look back. I couldn't. My mind replayed the moment I saw it walking down the wall, legs bending wrong, spine twisting, head tilting in a way no human should move, and yet it still looked like me, too much like me. Enough to trick anyone, enough to fool a camera, even enough to fool myself in the dark. The street ended at an intersection. I didn't think. I just turned left, sprinting toward the main road. My only hope was to find someone awake, someone alive, someone who would look at me and know the difference between me and whatever monster was wearing my face like a costume. But when I reached the intersection, the streetlights went out. All at once, 4 soft clicks in 4 directions, perfectly timed, perfectly synchronized. Darkness swallowed the entire block. My heart stopped, because in that sudden silence, I didn't hear the footsteps anymore. I stood frozen, breath shaking, eyes wide, listening to the night around me. Nothing, no movement, no whisper, no echo of my own voice being stolen again. Just darkness and the faint hum of something wrong in the air. Then a whisper slipped right next to my ear. "Found you." I spun around so fast I almost fell, swinging blindly, my hands cutting through empty air. But there was nothing behind me, nothing in front of me, nothing anywhere, just my own panting, my own heartbeat, my own terror stretching the night too thin. A sudden flash of movement appeared at the edge of my vision. I turned, too late. Something slammed into me from the side, hard enough to knock the air out of my lungs. I hit the ground and rolled across the pavement, scraping my arms and hands. When I stopped, it was standing over me, my face, my body, but the smile had changed. It wasn't pretending anymore. It wasn't mimicking emotions. It was expressing something real: satisfaction. It crouched down in front of me slowly, like a predator studying prey it now knew it owned. "You shouldn't have run," it whispered. "The ones before you ran too." My stomach twisted. Before me, how many others had it worn? How many lives had it replaced? The creature placed a hand on my chest, pressing down lightly. Its touch felt wrong, cold, hollow, like there was nothing inside the skin it wore. "You made this body nervous," it said, tilting its head. "That's why it resisted me. That's why I cracked the mirror." Its fingers traced my collarbone like it was mapping territory. "But that's okay," it whispered. "Fear makes the skin fit tighter." I shoved it, panic exploding through me, and managed to roll onto my side, scrambling back to my feet. I sprinted into the middle of the street again, gasping, clutching my chest where its hand had pressed. I heard the creature behind me, but now its footsteps were wrong. They were too uneven, too jagged, like it was struggling to move. My rejection had thrown it off. My escape had weakened it, but not enough. "You can't keep this body," it said, voice cracking slightly. "It belongs to me." I didn't answer. I just ran. I made it to the main road, finally, and relief flooded me, stupid and desperate. Cars passed here during the night. People sometimes walked their dogs. There were lights, traffic signs, a gas station, a block down life. I sprinted toward the gas station sign glowing in the distance. Then a car appeared. Headlights bright, engine humming. Actual people, actual safety. I staggered into the road, waving my arms. "Help, please, help, someone's." The car slowed. I saw a couple inside, confused. The window began to roll down, and then their eyes shifted past me. I felt the air change. I turned around. It stood in the middle of the road behind me, perfectly still, perfectly calm, perfectly me. The couple's expression softened. "Oh," the woman said, "there you are. We thought he was in trouble." They were looking at him. Not me, because he looked more like me than I did right now. Blood on my arms, bruises on my face, panic in my eyes. He raised a hand and waved at them gently. My wave, my smile, my voice, "It's okay," he said. He gets confused sometimes. My heart dropped through my stomach. They believed him. They believed the monster. The car drove off. I stood there shaking, watching its taillights fade, my entire world collapsing under the weight of the truth. If he could fool strangers, he could fool anyone, friends, family, police, and when he finally replaced me, no one would ever know. I stumbled backward, whispering, "Why are you doing this? Why me?" The creature tilted its head, the streetlight flickering above it. "You're not the first," it said calmly, "but you're the strongest." Its smile widened, "and I want your life more than any of the others." The streetlight flickered again and then went out. The moment the streetlight went out, the darkness didn't just fall around me, it closed around me. Like a fist, like something alive. I couldn't see him anymore, but I could feel him. Right in front of me, too close, breathing without breath, watching without eyes. A cold hand brushed my cheek, not grabbing, choosing, claiming. His voice came from everywhere at once, like it was whispered into my skull. "You lived the life that was meant for me, and now I'm taking it back." I stumbled backward, hands shaking, trying to find the curb, the wall. Anything but the street felt unfamiliar, wrong, stretched, warped, like I had stepped into a version of my world where he had already replaced me. Then something happened that froze every drop of blood inside me. The darkness in front of me shifted, and I saw my own face forming out of it, clearer, sharper, smiling a smile I had never made. It stepped closer. I stepped back. It leaned into my ear and whispered with my own voice, perfectly mimicked, "Go home." I opened my mouth to speak, but a hand clamped over it. My own hand, not mine, his. He leaned forward, forehead touching mine, eyes burning like two empty pits trying to drag me inward. And then the streetlight snapped back on. He was gone, just gone. The road was silent. The night was normal again. The world looked exactly how I remembered it. Except when I reached home, my front door was unlocked. The lights inside were on, and from the hallway I heard someone humming softly, lazily, the same song I always hummed while making tea. I stepped inside, and there, standing in my kitchen with their back turned to me, wearing my clothes, moving with my mannerisms, humming my song, was me. The humming stopped. He turned his head slowly, too slowly, to look at me, my face, my expression, my smile, and with a voice identical to mine, he whispered, "You're late." The door behind me slammed shut on its own.